Okay, kids, you are dismissed to Kid Zone. And now I'm going to invite Brother Gary up, and he's going to read y'all a little something that came from the pastor of the church that we helped out.
Good morning. We are glad to see you here on the first Sunday in September as we begin and kick off our September Stuff of Staff. Every September we use this time to allow our various staff individuals to showcase not only their talent and ability to listen to the Lord, but also to help us to see what's going on in their area, so that we as a church know how to better pray and what our monies are going for. And so this is an opportunity for each of those to come and to share with us what the Lord has laid on their heart. As we come today, we come to, you're seeing shown up here the a slide that shows the trip that the young folks just participated in called Serve It Up. And as such, on that particular Saturday, there was an open slot of about 2 or 3 hours, and so they wanted to fill all of their time, and so they asked me if I could contact someone over there that would help them on short notice to be able to come in and to share. And so I contacted the associational director over there. He contacted me back, and we kind of made some calls, and we found this pastor that had a church that was moving from one location to the next, and they just weren't quite in a position that their folks could help them a lot. And so they were really stuck. And here's what he sent after our young folks showed up to help out. Pastor Gary, good morning. As I sit here in our temporary office, I wanted to reach out to you and thank you for the work your mission team did for us last week. They were nothing short of a godsend. They did everything they could and more. They worked hard. They didn't complain. They stepped up even when our own church members didn't. Plus, there were a joy to be around. Truth be told, we aren't out of our building, but by your help. Thank you for coming to Spring Creek Road Baptist Church and blessing us in such a powerful way. And as we begin the journey of building anew, we will keep y'all updated. And if you need another missionary journey, next summer, we just might have a building project for y'all to get involved in. Thanks again. God bless. And it's signed by Carl Herbert, the senior pastor of what was formerly known as the Spring Creek Road Baptist Church. We're so grateful for this team that we have that come and share their hearts with our young folks, and in so doing, helping us to raise the next champions for Christ. And so, without any further ado, we hand it over to that team, Rick and Wantera Tatum.
All right. Thank you for doing that, Brother Gary. Wanted him to read that to y'all since it came directly to him. We had a great time doing that. We got there, and it was a building probably triple the size of this one, triple the size of our campus. So you can imagine all the different rooms they had full of stuff. But we were able to help them fill up this whole dumpster. And I wanted Wantera to come up and kind of talk about some things that it took to make that trip happen. But I'm going to move you up here a little bit. Don't get scared. Right. Here's your microphone.
I hate talking into microphones.
Talk into it now, right into it.
The The whole trip, we focused for about a month and a half on Acts 20:35. And I want to share with y'all what that verse is. It says, these little bitty prints over here. I have shown you in every way, by laboring like this, that you must support the weak. And remember the words of the Lord Jesus. That what group? What is the last part of it? They're shy.
Where's my group at? Lizzie, thank you.
Thank you. It does say that, and by this, it is more blessed to give to and receive. I called for 3 weeks, different places in Chattanooga. I called about 15 different places, and we were getting down to, we're leaving, and we still don't have a service project. So Rick and I were talking, and he was like, well, talk to Brother Gary about it. And later on, he'll probably tell you that that was all my idea. But anyways, we did. We reached out to Brother Gary on Wednesday night because I was like, I don't want this trip to seem misleading because we've all talked about the service project. And I knew God was going to provide, but we haven't got one yet. So, come on. And so Brother Gary reached out, and it turned out perfectly fine. When we get there, it was a long trip. I tried to do funny things with the kids to try to, embarrass them. It did not work. They loved the embarrassment. They loved the feather wig hat thing that you'll see on one of the kids in here. The Macarena, by the end of the trip, they all had it, which was not necessarily planned, but it worked out. But when we get there, when we get to the church, y'all, this is the part that I really want to talk about. We get there, I called them on Friday. So day that we are leaving is finally when we are able to get our service project. We get over there. We told them, okay, we're here. We're 15 minutes late running, trying to get 18, 19 people out the house in a matter of an hour and a half span's not that great. And teenagers eat a lot. A lot. So that was interesting to find out. But when we got there, we jumped right in. We were going to be there from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. We were done in less than 2 hours. That's how God works. When they were struggling, they're trying to get out of their church. They had to be out of their church by Monday. We showed up with 18 hands. Belle, our youngest helper, she was 4 years old, and she jumped right in and helped. Thought she was a big kid, too. The lady was in tears because of how much effort and the work that the kids did to pull this off, to make this happen. She was literally in tears. Moving furniture, doing everything that they did. And y'all, when I tell you it's more blessed to give than to receive, the kids gave up a little less than 2 hours of their time on this service project, and they had memories to last them a lifetime afterwards. They received so many blessings through all this that by the end of Saturday, the day that we did the service project, they forgot that we did a service project. We were asking them, okay, so what did we do today? Oh, we went to the aquarium, we did this, we went to a park, we did this. I'm like, what about the service project? They forgot about it. So that's how God works. God shows up when you need him, when you pray, and when you put your heads together with the awesome leadership team that we have. Thank y'all for entrusting us with your kids because it worked out perfect. So thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Tara. She worked tirelessly to put that together, and then when it seemed like we weren't going to have a service project to do, and the name of our whole trip is called Serve It Up, we were kind of, whoa, let's get things rolling, like she was saying. Okay, now we are going to take a test. Everybody ready? Test day, were you ready? Did you study? I'm going to need some helpers. Can some of my youth helpers come up here? If you didn't see this by the door, you got them over here? Switch places. If you didn't see these over here in the middle, then you probably didn't pick one up. So yeah, get some and make sure everybody's got one. Thank you, Marley. Thank you, Allie. Thank you, Duke. You can bring the rest back up to me. But just raise your hand if they get around and they haven't seen you yet, so they can get you one of these. And you might have taken a personality test before. In fact, we did something like this with the disc version of this one time before in this church. This one's a little easier for me to understand anyway. It's based on animals instead of all these weird choleric and phlegmatic words that I don't really understand. But anyway, let's get these to everybody, and we'll take this test and we'll figure out which ones we are. We're going to need some pens, too, for everybody to make some check marks. We got pens in here, Tara, that we can use, Tony? Thank you. Appreciate it. Did you get one, Marley? You're going to take this test too. You ain't out of this test. Yeah, you need it. Okay, did everybody get one? No, we got some over here that didn't get one. Do we have any extras that we can hand over this way? Just one more? Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Back there, Mason. You took it already, so we know what yours are. Extras? Extras, okay. Anybody else not get one? We got two left. One more. Oops. Okay. Now, as you can see on your paper, we got the letter L and some words underneath it, the letter O and some words underneath it, and so on. The word L is going to stand for lion. And this is one of the personality types, a lion. All right? Now, we're going to read these words together underneath L, which stands for lion, and if this pertains to you, I want you to put a check mark by that. If it doesn't pertain to you, just skip right over it, and we'll figure out which animal we are today. Okay, so the first one is lion takes charge. Are you a take charge kind of person? Check that one if you are. If determined, check that one. Assertive and so on. Firm, enterprising, kind of go through that list there and check off the ones that you are. At the very end of each one of these, there is a statement. And for the lion that we're on right now, it's let's do it now. So if that also describes you, put a check mark by that one. I'll give you a second to kind of go over that. Okay, let's move on to the O, which is the otter. All right, the otter takes risks. He's a visionary, a motivator, energetic. Does that sound like you? Just put one check mark by it if it's you. If not, skip over it. On the second page, it continues with the otters about avoiding details. They're fun-loving. They like variety. They enjoy change. Just remember to put one check mark by each one that describes you, and we'll tally them up at the end. I'll tell you how to do that. The otter's statement is, trust me, it'll work out. How many of you know like that? It'll be all right, right, Tim? What a deal. Okay, we got through the otter. Now we come up to G, which stands for golden retriever. And if you're a golden retriever, then you are loyal, non-demanding, even keel, avoids conflict. Somebody said, yeah, that's you. Dislikes change. All right, check those out and see which ones pertain to you. On the last page, it continues with the otter still at the top of that page with the phrase, let's just keep things the way they are. Maybe you're that kind of person. Okay, everybody getting through these pretty good? The last one we're on is beaver. That's what the B stands for. And if you're a beaver, you are deliberate, you're controlled, you're reserved, you're predictable, detailed. I love details. Persistent and scheduled. And then if you're a beaver, your statement is, how was it done in the past? See what we can learn from that. Give you just another second to get all your check marks where you want them, and then I'll tell you how to add everything up. Okay, I think we've given enough time. Now let me tell you how to tally these up. The number of check marks that you put on lion. Let's go back to lion. I want you to count up all your check marks, including if you checked the statement. Find out how many check marks that is, multiply that by 2, and put that in the number counted box. So excuse me? Yeah, that counts as a number. Yep, that counts as one of them. So count that check mark if you counted that. So if you had 8 check marks on lion, then you would multiply that by 2, being 16, and put that number there. If you have trouble with math, let me know and I can help you. And then just kind of follow that same pattern for the rest of them. When you get down to the otter, count how many check marks you put under the otter, including that statement. Trust me, it'll work out if that's you. And then multiply that by 2 and put that as the number counted. Same thing with golden retriever. Got a lot of check marks on golden retriever. Tally all them up. Multiply by 2. Put it in your spot. Let's keep things the way they are. That's the golden retriever statement. I can see myself saying that a lot. Finally, for the beaver, tally up all your check marks and double the number that was counted and put it in the space below. Okay, now we're all a blend of all 4 of these, but some of them are just more than others. And maybe you noticed that in the test that we just took. So let me find out. Where are my lions? Who scored the highest on the lion category? Raise your hand. Got 1, 2, yep, there's a bunch of us here. Okay, 4, 5. Josh, you're a lion too? All right, yeah, good. Tony, okay. All right, now I'm going to have Tony come up and kind of talk a little bit about the lions and some of your strengths and maybe some of the weaknesses too. Just kind of fill them in.
All right. So, tell me if you're a lion. Tell me if this pertains to you. The lion, their personality strengths. They motivate. They take charge. They like to motivate people. They love taking the lead and generally know which way they want to go. Is that y'all? Is that the lions? Their natural ability and confidence to move toward a goal or objective is a great strength for the lions. I like having an objective. I like having a goal. Even though sometimes I get strayed away, that's the otter in me. I kind of get. I scored almost identical on lion and otter, so I'm kind of half and half. I'm a lotter. They're naturally competitive and often self-starters. They don't mind challenges at work or at home. They often end up as the boss. Anybody in here the boss? I think I am sometimes. Or they're in a position that lets them jump in and be actively involved in directing activity around them. Lions want to do things now. They don't want to wait until later and hate to waste time when they could be getting something else done. This means that they generally want to make decisions quickly. I'm quick to make a decision, and sometimes it's not the best decision, but I'll make it, and I stand on it, though. I stand on what I make. Let's see. They make decisions with or without the facts. I do that a lot. They want to solve a problem now, even if it's 11 o'clock at night. Lions, Victoria can tell you sometimes she tells me, just go to bed. We can take care of it tomorrow, or we can do it. Just go to bed. Lions, particularly under pressure, can be so decisive that they struggle with slowing down to listen to or seek input from others before making a decision. A little bit about me. I'm the union president at work, and this is me to a T. If somebody brings a problem to me, I want to get on the phone. I want to go to the warden's office. I want to do this. I want to get it solved then, even if I don't know the facts. And sometimes I go up there and it's either already been handled, they're already aware of it, or it's minor. It's more minor than what the person that brought it to me, made it seem to be. They're good under pressure. If they feel their time is being wasted or a decision is being blocked, they can be impatient, argumentative, or even pushy. Y'all feel like that? Lions are great people and great spouses. They can accomplish much for the Lord and their families and raise great kids. So if Almighty God has given you a lion to do life with, look forward to accomplishing great things together. When a lion gains the wisdom to slow down and seek to include others, proactively asking for their input and valuing their questions and insights, he or she will become a great leader as well. A wise lion will take the time to really see the strengths of the people God has placed in his or her life. I kind of struggle with that sometimes. I'm getting better, but if I'm in charge, I'm the one that wants to do it. And I know if I have a team around me, I know the team is capable of doing it, but I'm the one that wants to do it. I mean, I struggle with it. I do. Sometimes I have to let go and let God, like I preached about a few months ago. Sometimes I got to let go and let God, and when he takes over, it's better than when I was in charge. So I'm going to leave y'all with a couple things about it that I learned last weekend. I saw some lions. I'm not going to name them, but I saw some lions. They stepped up, took charge. I saw some otters. I saw some golden retrievers. I didn't see too many beavers, maybe one, but the rest most of the kids were a blend of everything. And I enjoyed it thoroughly, just being with the kids and just having a good time with them, fellowship with them. I like to cook, so I cooked breakfast for them. I just hanging out with them, chilling and playing video games with them. When we went to the church and we started, none of them complained. None of them complained. I heard a few, my back hurts. And I just told them, hey, I'm 46 years old. Everything hurts on me, but I'm doing it. So, and that just, okay, we'll do it. I'm gonna read you a verse, and then I'm gonna turn it back over to Rick. Sorry, it's Philippians chapter 2, verse 3 and 4. Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Don't look out only for your own interests, but take an interest in others too. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tony. Tony is definitely a lion, and we butt heads sometimes when we do stuff, but we make it work. Okay, now I wanted Juantera to come up and share with us one of her personality traits and give y'all some feedback on that too.
I also scored really high as a lion, but that's not the...
Eat the mic. Eat the mic now.
He's a beaver. Pays attention to details. I scored really high as a lion, so we have a lot of lions in our leadership team. And when we all have an idea at the same time, a lion is like, no, it's got to be my way. No, my way's the right way. No, let's... So it's kind of, you can butt heads. But I'm not going to talk about the lion. I want to talk about my second strongest quality, which would be a golden retriever. which is also my bestie, which is why we get along so good. Who's all my golden retrievers in here? Got one over there.
Right, got a bunch of them.
That's why we all get along so good, you guys. When you're a golden retriever, you're loyal. I'm pretty loyal. Been married to him for almost 16 years, Friday. I like to avoid conflict at all costs. I don't like contradictions. That's not my cup of tea. When you get into an argument or something with your spouse and they like to analyze things a lot, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. Let's move on. Past that. Let's go. Like, I said I'm sorry. I can't turn back the clock and do it different, but I know I'm sorry. We're very nurturing. So I feel like I'm in a great position so I can nurture all these teenagers because they need some nurturing. I value deep don't look at me like that. I value deep relationships. I care about everybody. I've never met a stranger. If someone's hurting, I want to go to that person. I want to fix it. Like I got to fix it kind of thing. And if I can't fix it, then it's like, what do I do now? Like, how do I go about fixing it? I'm sympathetic. Most golden retrievers are very sympathetic. We like to talk, but we're also very good listeners. We're considerate, good-natured. You see these little golden retrievers, the big old puppy dog eyes, and they're just like, aw. We're strong team players. Shoot an idea out there. Let's run with it. How do we make this happen? What's our next step? And I'm always looking for ways to serve, whether it's inside my church, whether it's to my family, whether it's to I just want to be able to serve. We're sensitive, we're compassionate, and we want to go deeper. We want to dive deeper into relationships. We want to be able to know that person on a personal level instead of just a surface level. And what I mean by that is like, surface level is more what you do with acquaintances. Hey, how you doing? How's your day? Good. Great. See you later. But you want the deeper relationships. No, how was your day? When you're a golden retriever and you're married to a beaver, you can walk in all the time. Hey, how was your day? It was good. You're going about the hustle and bustle of life. But when Rick comes in, hey, how you doing? Good. Great. No. He'll take me, how are you doing? And that gives me an opportunity to open up to him and talk more in a deeper sense than just the passing by. Like, we're not acquaintances, we're teammates. We're soft on people, and a lot of times we're soft on problems. And what I mean by that is, like I said earlier, like, well, I'm sorry, let's move on. I want to share with y'all Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 4. And it says, lead me away, the daughters of Jerusalem will run after you. If we have a good team player in our court and they give us a good idea, you can combine your ideas together and do awesome stuff for the Lord. Whether you agree or you don't agree, when you can work through your differences, that's the key. Retrievers are just like the other core personalities that we're going to talk about. They're tremendous people to be married to. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
But when our strengths get pushed to an extreme, that's when we can face issues. When you back us into a corner, you never want to back a dog into a corner. Not that I'm calling myself a dog, but hey, don't back me into a corner. That's all I'm saying. When I say I never want to get into an argument, it's like, okay, that happened, but we need to move past it. And if you want to focus on it for days at a time, then you're going to get the violent golden retriever. You're going to have me with not so friendly stuff. It's pushing me to an extreme. All my golden retrievers out there, can I get an amen? Like, don't push us. Thank you. But when you're married to a beaver, they have a natural tendency to overanalyze things to the point that it's just like, okay, you can talk about it all you want to. I'm over it. I'm done. Moving on. I don't know what that looks like. I'm just done. Bye. That's not the right way to handle it, my retrievers. It's always better in the end if you talk about things and you work through them. But as a golden retriever, we have many strengths as well. Positive ones. We actually rock at seeking peace because we don't like our households to be chaotic. We want the peace, so we're going to do everything we can to make that happen. We want harmony with others. We don't want to be in conflict all the time. We want that closeness, that deep relationships that we were talking about. But there's going to be times, guys, that problems need to be faced. You can't just sweep them under the rug. And those are the days that you're going to stay up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning trying to face these problems. But it has to be done. And if you trust that way, that's God's way. You never want to go to bed angry. And when you put God at the forefront, everything else makes sense when nothing seems to make sense. I want to share a couple more things with you as the strength of a golden retriever. When things do get rough, intense, and when we do feel like we're backed in a corner, work harder. Never go into anything with just half your heart. You want to go into it with your full heart. But before you dive in fully, pray about it first. Go to the one that understands everything already. He gives you your emotions, so why not talk to the one that can fix everything when you can't? You want to ask for God's guidance. Ask him to open up your eyes so that you can see from a different perspective, maybe from a beaver's perspective. You just have to be more open-minded, and it helps us golden retrievers to pray about that first, because as my strong suit is a lion, my way. It's never right. All right, and then I want you guys to choose grace. I tell the youth students all the time, they tell me, I'm not a morning person on youth trips. You don't have a choice to be a morning person around me. You're going to be a morning person, or you'll get beat with my beating stick. And it's okay. My parents know about it. We're good. But being a morning person is a choice. You can choose to wake up and have a good attitude, or you can choose to wake up and have a bad attitude. The choice is yours. So when you're in a relationship, choose to show grace. Bitterness is actually the anchor to the soul. Bitterness is something that you can hold on to. It's those grudges. Well, 2 days ago he did this. I'm going to cut up my debit card today. Bitterness is the anchor to the soul. But God, y'all, God's grace sets us free. So choose to show that same kind of grace that God shows us. Show that same grace and that love to others, and dive deeper into the relationships in your life. That's my golden retriever.
Thank you. Very good, Tara. Okay, so those were the golden retrievers. Where are the otters? Hey, there's an otter over there. Just not very many. Okay, just a couple. See you know that? Oh, another one. Okay, now otters are awesome at valuing people over projects. There's a couple of these personalities that are better with the projects deal, and find ourselves at home in that. But otters, they value people over projects. They're fun-loving. They're enthusiastic. Does that sound like you? They know a lot of people, maybe not all their names. That's just one of those details that they don't keep up with. But, all right, so let's talk about in a marriage situation. There's a lot of marriages represented here in this room. What if a lion is married to an otter? Okay? Lots of words, lots of energy being shared between each other. But Proverbs 10:19, if you know that verse, it says, when words are many, transgressions are not lacking. Okay, so we got to be careful not to talk too much, not to talk over each other in that situation, not to hit each other with those zingers that we think are so witty. I can come up with some good witty ones, you know. It's time to just tone it down a little bit on that. What about if you're a golden retriever married to an otter? They both share that idea of people over projects. They're very good, both of them are very good at relationships, but when do you ever get anything done? You need like a good person who's good with detail orientation. No long-term planning happens in that relationship. If they're not careful, it can seem like, how many credit cards can we get together here? Okay, so you got to be careful with that. All right, so what if you're a beaver married to an otter? Otters, you need to slow down and realize there is some importance in details. Tony and Tara both are lion-otter mixes, so it's hard for me to get them, all right, let's focus on these details. Now, I love going to these trips with y'all, but do we have all the details planned out? And before we even went on this trip, the most recent one, they're like, yeah, man, you got your own bed and your own room? And I get there, and there ain't neither one of those things, so it affected my beaver personality pretty harshly. Okay, I tried to maintain. But anyways, it's stuff like that where you can really help each other with some some details. Okay, also for the beaver though, you got to realize to put in some spontaneity in there. We'll talk about the beaver last, but a lot of times they get so close-minded in their projects that they leave no room for fun stuff that the otter wants to put in there. So recognizing that God has placed us together, if you're in any one of those marriages, but we're not all eyes, we're not all ears. Our Creator knew what he was doing when he put us together, okay? Check out this verse in 1 Corinthians 12:18. It says that God arranges the members in the body, each one of them as he chose. And arranged here is a jeweler's term. It's God saying he placed us on purpose like a jeweler puts stones into a ring. Not somebody that's going to help us hurt us and drag us down, but somebody that's going to complete us and help us to get those things that we need done. All right, so where is the beavers? I'm a beaver. Anybody a beaver like me? I see one. Lizzie, you're the only beaver? Oh, okay, here. my people. Okay, beavers, we're the detailed people. We're discerning, we're precise. I'm not always these ways, but these are ways that I definitely lean towards, and I like this idea. Okay, if you're that, you're probably a beaver like me. That's why the beaver is on the class ring of MIT and Caltech. These are great engineering schools, and beavers are organized and detailed and precise. You know how to get rid of a beaver dam? I mean, you can go shoot the beaver. I think a better idea would be to trap it and move it, but the dam itself is still there. And what they got to do is they call in the Army Corps of Engineers to blow that thing up, because there ain't no other way to get it out of there. They bring in C4 and blow it up, because beavers do it right, man. We do it right the first time. All right? We do it right, and we do it by the book. We like checking things off of lists. I made my list this morning and before our trip, and I'm just checking away all the stuff on my list. We're good at things and taking things apart. But sometimes, and you might know this if you're married to a beaver, they're really good at taking themselves apart. And sometimes with that same tenacity, just because they just can't seem to get whatever it is they're focusing on just right. All right, so if you're an otter and you're the spouse of a beaver, otters don't realize the need of a sock drawer. Otters just kind of throw the socks, maybe a sock room. They just throw it in there and they know where the socks are. Beavers are a little different than that. We want them all in a drawer, in its own specific drawer. We want the dirty clothes in the clothes box. I know you don't believe me, Tara, but I do want the clothes in the dirty clothes box. And some hyper beavers, they'll even fold them up and put them in there, get the most space out of that hamper. Otters just kind of throw it towards it. If you make it close, you're good enough, you know. I think my inner otter comes out, because I see one Tara doing this sometimes in my piles. Okay, if you're a golden retriever and you're the spouse of a beaver, you guys are covering pretty much all the bases. You got the relationship side covered real good with the golden retrievers, and the beavers always want to do everything right. Don't forget to add that spontaneity and fun in there if you're a beaver. Don't just be a boring beaver all your life. Make some room for that stuff. All right, now if you're a lion and you're married to a beaver, this is me and Tara. Okay, and you got to be careful here, because this is like the immovable force that meets the irresistible object. Okay, the lion's going, hey, I'm in charge, and we're going to do things my way. I know what I'm doing. And then the beaver comes along and says, no, this needs to be the right way. There's mine and your way, but there's also the right way right in there somewhere. And so that's why beavers can sometimes get confused with lions, because we do kind of like, it has to be done like this. But we're trying to focus on the right way of doing things. And then sometimes we can even throw that out there. Hey, I'm trying to do things the right way, or I'm trying to do things the biblical way. And, you know, don't use that as a crutch, okay, because sometimes that's not the truth. But a lot of times, if you're not careful, we can be at each other's throats, me and Tara can. So, but guess what? If you're a lion and a beaver together, you make great parents. More CEOs of Fortune 500 companies in America come from this combo than any of the others. They get them involved in a bunch of different things, but then they also good at with the follow-through, especially when they learn to really value each other. Okay, so what's the take-home from this? What's the point in learning all this stuff about each other? It's so we can love each other more. The whole point in this is to find out what makes our spouse tick, and get used to doing those kinds of things. Get used to doing those exercises that make them happy or bring them joy. And then let that bleed over into our church community. This body is a family as well. And we all need to be looking for each other's strengths and weaknesses and build each other up in those ways and encourage each other in those ways. Okay, so that was the whole idea in doing this test. I hope that you got something out of this. I'm going to bring the band back up and we're going to sing a song. Oh, we got one more thing, Tony. Tony's got one more thing to add. Okay, all right, very good. Okay, we're going to make some time for the youth to come up here and share a little bit about the trip. They'll keep it short. Come on up here, Trenton. Turn off. Mine turned off.
They don't want to hear y'all.
Okay, you turned it off. Now it's on.
Okay, it's on. It's on.
It's on.
Mason?
I would like to thank y'all for letting us go on this trip. And then probably one of my favorite parts is me and Duke playing video games in the middle of the night, and then Max getting mad we didn't invite him. And then helping the other church move and stuff. That was pretty fun. Going to the aquarium, got some funny pictures. I got a picture of Miss Tara. She was goofy. I would just like to thank y'all for letting us go.
I would also like to thank y'all for letting us go on this trip. And one of my favorite things about the trip is going to Ruby Falls and seeing all the stalagmites. Again, thank you for letting us go on this trip.
I would also like to thank all of you. I'm not someone who really jumps into things easily, and with everyone who went, it helped me do things more.
I would also like to thank my mom and my dad and everybody else who helped. My name is Allie, and I enjoyed leaving. My favorite part was helping move stuff around and helping the church people.
Even though it was very hot, it was a fun trip. We made some good memories, helped people, and the video game sessions in the middle of the night were very fun. And then Max's reaction was even better. So, thank you.
Hi. My name's Trenton.
All right, I'm Maxwell. I don't know if y'all know, but we had to sleep on bean bags while we were there. They were like this big. So we stacked them up real high. My favorite memory, I'm a 32-year-old man, all right? I got to run through a room, jump, and flip into bean bags repeatedly. I mean, that was awesome. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Some of y'all already met him, but this is the official mascot of the youth group. This is Beauregard Bigfoot, the traveling Squatch. He's going to go to D.C. with me in a couple weeks. He's going to go to Guatemala with Tara. And anytime the youth group is going to go anywhere, he's going to go with us. And he's got a Facebook page, too, if y'all want to check it out. It's Beauregard Bigfoot's Big Adventure. Some of y'all's already liked it, so y'all check it out.
For me, this was a little bit, I don't want to say weird, but like I don't have an opportunity to work with the youth a lot because I work on Wednesday nights. So Max was like, "Oh, I'm going on the trip." So I was like, "Okay, well, it seems like a good opportunity for our girls to come along and experience." And then I was like, "Well, maybe I just kind of felt like I should go along." Didn't know what to expect. Actually, I just met these guys like probably 2 weekends before. So I was like, well, let's just see how this goes. Totally expected it to be just strange and weird, but I actually really enjoyed the opportunity to get to know them, and I really enjoyed the opportunity to get to help them with the church that we got to move the stuff out of, and it was just a really cool experience, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to get to know you guys. So.
Okay, guys, very good. Thank you. You can make your way back to your seats. Glad y'all got to meet them. All right, so now we're gonna close with one more song, and this is your song of invitation. If you have something that you want to pray about down here at the altar as far as your relationships go, like Juantera mentioned, God is the inventor of relationships and of emotions, so He can help you through these problems that you're having. We're going to sing this song of invitation, and then we will